Hello, my name is Brennan, and welcome to Musings of the Mind. And I was thinking about it, and I've already covered self mastery and mastery of the mind in the previous two episodes. I think I've really gone over that subject. I don't think there's much else to go on, so I'm going to leave those two as they are. Maybe I'll cover spiritual mastery in the future, but that kind of goes with mastery of mind. I've already covered that in the past, especially with meditation and stuff in my previous episodes, so I'm not going to rehash that. Now, for this episode, what did I want to talk about? Well, I was reading about how there's a couple of brothers who managed to create in the video game EVE Online one of the best, one of the biggest, player-run corporations. And I was also I was also reading about the game because quite impressed because you take these people who are just sort of who a lot of them are couch potatoes in real life. Not all of them, but a lot of them are couch potatoes. Sit down, but when you give them a controller, you can give them a keyboard, and they become these masters of life. They master the video game. They're absolute gods at it. They do better than most people do in real life. I was thinking about this because I also used to do this. Like several of my friends and I used to play strategy games a lot, like Stellaris, one of my favorite games, especially with a lot of the DLCs. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, especially Age of Empires 2. These are just a few examples where I was an absolute god at economic management, and I created great economies. I was an absolute master of wealth. Several of my friends were the masters of war, very good at fighting war, and we would team up. I'd give them money, they'd fight war, we'd team up and we'd work together. I was thinking about that. It's like, what allows people who in real life have very little to no achievement, but in video games to do so well? And this comes down to two issues. One is fear. We all know that. And that's the thing. Often, no action is worse than taking a wrong action. There are a few extreme examples of this, like you want to have the right parachute. If you're jumping out of a plane, it's better not to go up there and jump out with the wrong parachute. It's better not to do that than to do that. But with a few extreme examples like that, most of the time it's better to go and try something because it gets you valuable experience. And you need that experience in order to build a great life. But also a second part of it, and I was really thinking about this, is in video games you have a structure. Like, you have all the resources at the top of the screen, and then you have a research tree and everything's laid out. In life, you don't have that. And especially where I'm in the US, like college, all confusing, there's all this confusing stuff. So I was thinking, how do you make this structure? How do you get the structure to get the clarity so that you can overcome, so that you can create the strategic vision to overcome the fear and achieve greatness? Well, there's the macro and the micro, as I talked about before. Or in the macro, I'd suggest playing life like a strategy game. So write out each resource you have in life. Like culture. Do you know more than one language? Do you understand history? Write this out. Culture. Do you have plus or minus culture per turn, or are you stagnating? Happiness. Big thing a lot of people neglect. Do you have plus happiness, or do you have negative happiness? Are you a happy person getting happier, or are you a sad person deteriorating? This is a big thing. And what's your gold per turn? What's your money? What's your resources? What your monetary assets? What's your research? What are you researching? Are you gaining new skills? Are you stagnating? What's up here? Here, let's see. What's another one? Diplomacy. Diplomacy is a big one. Do you have strategic connections? Do you not? Who are you connected with in life? What other human assets do you have? Do you socialize? Do you not socialize? And there's a lot of other ones I'm not thinking about. But that's the thing. You need to sit down, write out the resource. Like, actually get out a piece of paper, just write out the resources. Are you plus or minus gold per turn? And stuff like that. And understand, do you suck at resource management in life? You can then ask this question. If you do suck, get that in order. Get your gold per turn right. You need to manage your resources. Do proper resource management. Most people suck at resource management. And are you getting enough sleep? That's a big one people mess up. So there's that. Health is also another one. Another good resource to put up there. And then once you get this right, you can tailor your resources and put them in areas that you want. Right. And this will be a great thing. This will give the structure required to overcome a lot of hurdles. Now, but this is in the macro, like yearly or decadely schedules. Those day to day, I'd suggest playing life more like say a first person shooter or some magic game where you have skills and stuff. So like what I did was I sat down. I'd suggest you do this too: is take a picture of yourself or an avatar that you've written that you've drawn, something that you can really identify to. Put that down. Write out your skill trees, what you've mastered. For me, I wrote down biology. I'm really good at that. That's where all my college work is. So I wrote down each college class I had, sort of the skills I'd obtained, like plasmid vector genetic engineering and CRISPR genetic engineering. I wrote those down. I wrote down my skill trees. I did that with electronics 2, the programming language I know, etc. And I did this for my character. And I wrote down my inventory, what are the resources that I had, what are the quests in life that I've gone on, and so on. This is what I wrote. So I suggest you doing that too. Sit down and write that out so that you can then go on, so you can then obtain the structure required to succeed at life. So you can obtain the structure required to go on quests. Then figure out what you want, go on that quest, and use your resources to do it. I also put down martial arts. Like I'm very good at martial arts and work on my mastery in one. Very good at that. So I wrote these things out as in my skill trees, what I've done and what I haven't done. And I suggest you do that too. You play life in the macro as a strategy game, in the micro, your day-to-day life, as like an FPS, magic, whatever type game. You aim like FPS, hack and slash, does not matter, dungeon crawler. All there, but an action game. Having said that, I think I really covered this subject. Go and apply what I've done. Write it down on a piece of paper. Thank you very much for listening. Please check out my other social media that I've put on my social media platforms. Check out my YouTube if you're on my TikTok, and check out my TikTok if you're on my YouTube. Have a great rest of your day.